Andrews here. Today I'm going to be talking about Belore and their album Artefacts. Now this is primarily a one-man project, and I just wanted to show you off what I got on this cassette. I just thought it would be sweet to get because I haven't got one in ages, and I really like that they got the album art sort of surrounding the cassette. I thought, yeah, this is really cool. I like this. So hopefully I'm going to try to show you guys the whole layout. No, I said primarily a one-man project because a Levok does everything excluding the drums. So he's quite a talented individual to be able to do so much, including the mixing and mastering is really impressive. And I hope you guys can see all this all right. But I really like this layout too. Pretty sweet that we got the lyrics and everything. And then I'll be back in a second talking about Artefacts. Now we're immediately swept away in Artefacts by this fantastical atmosphere in the opening track called Tale of a Night. Now this intro casts such a whimsical visual and really sets the tone for the story that's created within, and then the music sort of casts a different atmosphere, but it still has this mystical aura that still hovers in there, and more elements come to life with the harsh vocals, fiery guitars, and energetic drums to support. And I thought the clean vocals sort of harmonized so well with the main guitar melody, created this sort of celestial vibrancy in this. So right off the bat you really get swept away in A Tale of a Night. Then we got Artifacts of Power. This contains wonderful contrast of musical beauty and tenacious music. The harsh and clean vocals I felt were absolutely perfect contrast and went really go well and hand in hand with the flute and bell elements that capture an essence of pleasantry in this track. Even though the guitars are tough, they really sing well together, I thought, and the pacing of this from the drums here really works and enhances and creates this really great flow in Artifacts. I thought this was one of the best songs of the album. I really liked the flow and everything that sort of just came to life. Every element came to life and didn't get overwhelmed by anything else. You really get to hear it, and they all sort of sung on their own. I really like that about Artifacts, and I really think you get that in this next one as well. I really think this song really shimmers stunningly is the Fall of Endor. This harnesses some poetic melodies from every element. So much melodic life comes from every instrument, all the instrument pieces going along, the bold melodies from the lead that go in tandem with this sort of monk sort of tone in the clean vocals is what I called it. I just called it the monk tone, the monk vocals that I thought. And I love how the second half of the song is elevated and gave this subtle boost to the harsh vocals. I just love this sort of contrast of like a little bit of pleasantry from the clean vocals and then the intensity from the harsh vocals. And I really think they created as two chapters within this track called The Fall of Endor. I really like that there is chapters. That's what it felt like. This actually felt like a fantasy novel, and all these had chapters. I felt like The Fall of Endor had like two chapters within this song. And speaking of chapters, I really felt like the song Moonstone sort of separated this album, separated this book, with its atmospherically. I felt it did that as the story starts to evolve a little bit more and the moods start to change, the tones start to change on this album, and I really felt like it separated that, and I thought that was just absolutely sort of great pivotal moment and a key to Moonstone. This is the turning point in this album, and I really thought that was sort of unique with its song placement and how it was. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but that's sort of what I got from Moonstone as we entered into this next chapter, the sort of second half of the album, second half of the book. And I really felt like this next song really reveals a lot of visuals in a new king for Theralis. This opens with some somber, poetic mood, but as the pages start to turn, ascension of the vibrancy gives this light, and the music starts to illuminate and thrive as the story goes along a bit more, and the lyrics I think are perfectly scripted out. As the lyrical tide turns, actually so does the music, and I think that is fantastic. As that's very creative, and I love the exuberant sort of keyboard piece that is here. It really lights up. Then you're followed by some awesome brass elements. We got some pulse pounding drums that sort of capstone off this track. I think it all really came to life brilliantly. This is probably going to be the one I highly recommend. Actually, I'm going to put this as a must listen if I can find it as a single track on YouTube, is A New King for Theralis. I I really love this track, and I think it's fantastic. Just captured so many visuals with all these elements in this one. Awesome, awesome song. Now I really like the flute and the atmosphere and how they really related to the story in Glorious Journey, which really I felt gave this track a glorious tone. And I really like the clean vocals and melodies towards the end, and how pleasantly they danced, and how they sort of float stunningly back to the flute, and how the flute sends us on our way in this sort of ceremonial ending to the album. And I really felt like there was just this sort of happy, uplifting tone, you know, this tranquil pleasantry that ended off in this album. I really think the atmosphere and the flute gave that to Glorious Journey and added to that atmosphere, and I really think that's a really solid way to end the album Artefacts, which I think is fantastic. I hope you guys check out Belore and Artefacts. All the links will be in the description below, of course. Maybe you guys should check out the cassette. I really like this. I thought this was fantastic to pick up, and you know, it's sort of, I felt like you know, the way I describe it as a vinyl, it's sort of a sit down thing just to enjoy and relax. You don't have it in the background, and that's what I'm going to do with these cassettes. So I hope you guys check out Belore and all that good stuff. And if you got any bands to recommend, of course, always throw that down in the comments, or if you have a band, message me on Facebook. And until next time, folks, how about some heavy listening?